Hello, Fear the Mere Cat here. If my voice sounds a bit hoarse, then it's because I've got a little bit of sore throat. I'm sure it'll go away soon. If it sounds a little bit like a horse, then I've turned into a horse, which would be unfortunate. Anyway, we've restored the village. Look, all of the stuff has returned to normal now because the forest temple curse has been lifted. So that's nice. Yeah, I've cut out some of the travelling here because the travelling's a bit boring and dirt to watch, and this is one of those side quest episodes, so there's a lot of travelling in it. Yeah, thanks with mutant spider thing, but really don't want to talk to you. No offense, but you're quite creepy. I don't know why they've coded jumpers in this place. Anyway, it would be nice if he gave you a full rather than empty giant's wallet, but never mind. He didn't, so he didn't. It would have been nice if we could have got that when we got so much, could have gotten so much money from the bunny mask, but never mind. Here's how it is. So we're going to be doing a fairly roundabout sort of thing here that will allow us to get a heart piece that we wouldn't otherwise be able to get, but that means going up and down this mountain a lot and turning back into a child for a while, and it's going to take more than one episode. Yes, the rolling rocks have replaced the rolling Gorons here, and they go down further and they hurt more and they're larger, so they're harder to avoid. And they probably enjoy the rolling less than the Gorons do, you know. I would imagine the Gorons just do it for fun. That's quite a beautiful moon and a not particularly beautiful rock. I always thought that Death Mountain looks a little bit like Mount Doom at this point in time. So for some reason, playing the Song of Storms here opens a hole, allowing you to fall down and get lots of rupees, as you'll see in a minute. So clearly someone stored their treasure under here. But if playing the Song of Storms is the only way to get to it, that means it must be Link who placed the treasure here, because Link taught the Song of Storms to the guy in the windmill, but the guy in the windmill also learnt it from Link, which means that technically Link is the only person who is the person who created the Song of Storms. He is the only person who knows it. Although I suppose it's possible that the guy in the windmill hid his treasure here, but it always looks like he doesn't leave the windmill, so just weird. There are plenty of hearts here if you need them. Now there've been some things I've cut out as well where I've just made mistakes, but I've tried to show off the mistakes a little just to prove that I know I'm not perfect. He unfortunately is rather harder to stop than the Goron that previously rolled around and around here for some reason. They do seem to enjoy rolling. So you need to be careful about where you put that. It might take you a while. I'm also Link here with Gorons. Perhaps we're related. Actually quite like the style Goron. Sort of cute, I guess. No, not supposed to talk about cuteness. It's a massive dilemma for me whenever I see a kitten. I know it sounds cruel of me, but I like the noise it makes when it cries. That's quite a cool noise. Yeah, I don't know why he would want to talk about the Gorons being captured if the Gorons being captured is what upsets him. I suppose, as well, apparently you have to get these in the right order, so if you don't talk to him about the dragon that he's upset by first, then you won't get him to stop being upset about the dragon that he's upset by, because that makes sense. So I guess I thought initially if I got him to talk about the Gorons, he would talk about the Gorons in general and not the specific situation that he's in now. Apparently not. You have to get these in order. I suppose it's not that hard to figure out. There are only two options. Yeah, I might have said something like, are you looking forward to the next Star Wars movie? What's your favourite kind of cheese? I don't know why the Gorons have made a tunic that's a race other than the Gorons. Perhaps it's because they knew that Link wasn't a Goron, or is a very well disguised Goron. I mean, it makes me wonder if they've made one for all races as well, like have they made one for the Zoras or not. Here's the thing though, the tunic only covers certain parts of his body. Now what I'm wondering is why doesn't his face, for example, which is not covered by it, get burnt horribly whilst he's surrounded by the lava and the incredible heat inside the volcano. Somehow he is magically saved by a tunic that only covers about 50% of him. Now I tried to get to the gold sculpture by working on this bit and that doesn't work. So it's rather hard to work out how to actually get to him. I suppose it might be possible to get to him from somewhere further below, but with the slingshot rather than the long shot, whatever it's called. It might be called the short shot, I guess. The only way I've found to do it is by standing on top of this thing directly above it. Now later on, if I can, I will be showing you how to get the Goron's knife, although that's not actually that helpful. There's not much point in going in the Goron shop. They don't sell you anything that you can't get for free anyway. But the Goron's knife is going to have to wait to the next episode, because this episode is pretty full up with other stuff, and Link will have to come back here again as an adult later on before he can go into the Fire Temple permanently. Now, as far as I know, this is the only way to get into the Fire Temple, because there's a big chasm if you approach it from any other place, and I don't know if there's any way to get across it. So yeah, that counter's about to disappear when you put the tunic on. How red was my tunic? The lesser known sequel to How Green Was My Valley. I think I may have already used a similar joke in the previous episode. Never mind, it's not funny anyway. You would have thought they would have maintained this place better. Thing is, I'm not sure that Link actually has friendship with Daruni. He saved Daruni's people, but they haven't seen each other in 7 years, and they were actually only in each other's presence for about 10 minutes. I also don't know what a bolero of fire is. I don't know that much about classical music. I think a sombrero of fire is probably a sombrero that's on fire, but that would hurt your head, so there's not much point in owning one. I'm sorry about that. That sounded funny in my head. Actually, I tend to think the graphics are quite good on this game, considering its age, and it has its own graphic style as well, which I think sometimes is more important, keeping a consistent graphic style in the way this one does. Now, I have been assured that there is a place to plant magic beans just next to this thing on the floor here, which we've now left alone. But yes, I've been assured of that. Now, I couldn't see one myself, but I am working on the assumption that if I come back here as a child using the method of playing the song we've just learned to get me back to the right place, then there will be somewhere for me to plant the magic beans. So that'd be a lesson to you if your wife ever tells you that it's stupid for you to have paid a large amount of money for magic beans. They are in fact much more helpful than people claim. Technically it's the tunic and the hat as well, and the gloves that are fireproof. So apparently he's moved his shop here when the zombie things moved into the village he originally lived in. I don't know why he tells you it's a game for grown-ups when you're a grown-up. That seems a bit pointless. Now, I'll admit, I used the save files here that I got because this is an emulator, and perhaps I shouldn't have done, but I've talked about my reasons why loads of times in previous episodes, so I'm not going to go on about that for ages. But despite that, I will admit that using the bow seems to be easier. Not easy enough for me to not bother using the save files, but fairly easy. Certainly compared to the slingshot, the thing you have to use as a child. So. I think this is just more accurate bow and arrow. I'm not quite sure what the difference is other than the bow and arrow. I don't think there's a difference in where the rupees come out and what order they're in and occurs and things like that. I'm not sure if you really need the big quiver either, to be honest, but I might as well show it off, so... Now we need to go and make Link younger, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. I do prefer Link as an adult, but some things are necessary, so... I got awfully close to that thing there, sort of like almost daring it to attack me. Come to the sunny tourist attraction of the Temple of Time, if you survive long enough to see it. For a moment I thought he was going to tell me to basically go off and do more stuff, but luckily he doesn't. Or she. I don't want to give too much away. I think it's almost exactly 7 years because it brings you to the point where you've got the Mask of Truth. So it must be just before you enter the temple, basically. I suppose a prelude is the thing you have before you have a lude. And that's as far as my knowledge goes. noticed, in fact, that they often play far more notes than the number of notes that you actually have to memorise. But I suppose that's a good thing. And maybe that green energy is, I don't know, time energy, basically. So I don't know what it was. It was something. That's not helpful at all. Anyway, coming up on the end of this episode now. So in the next one we will be finishing the side quest to get the heart piece, and I will see you for that episode. Goodbye for now.